Hey guys, long time no see. So for the initiated, you might notice that today is the 1 year anniversary of the day that I uploaded the trailer for the BBFL GOAT video. A whole year. I'm still working on it. Don't worry about that. Thought I'd give you a little bit of an update here on the 1 year anniversary. My original hope when I missed the last deadline was that I'd have it out today, but just it's also kind of a little bit of a life update because since I put out that last update, I've basically started a new job. I took on a lot more responsibility. Had a high school season, swim season that we coached and won the conference championship and pretty much the toughest conference in the state of Michigan. So both my hands are occupied by Go Rams. Moved in with my wonderful girlfriend Kat, so we've been moving stuff around and making new memories, that kind of crap. And sometimes I'm sure everybody gets this, but when you get home from work, sometimes I feel like that one Ben Affleck meme. So, and then there were a lot of different changes that had to go into the project. It's currently on the Excel document's currently on 3.0. The script is on 4.5, I think, of revisions. A lot of it, I had to rework the formula. The math I was using ended up being not quite accurate. I really had to comb through and see what was going wrong. I really had to fight my want of confirmation bias of why isn't this player, the GOAT? And it took me a long time to comb through the data and really truly understand what the numbers are saying, and longer still to figure out how to explain that. I've got my notes right here. That's where I'm looking. So I had to do that, and I had to account for an entirely new problem that I call Jamesflation, which will be briefly explained in the video and likely further explained in a supplemental. So I get to make that as well. That's fun. And that'll make sense when we get there. You guys will be like, oh, and some of you might actually have an idea of what that is. And just the time needed to get the editing done, because I'm either pulling clips or editing it down, and my computer's a pretty slow potato at this point. I had to go back because I don't want to pay for Adobe Photoshop or Premiere anymore. So I went back and I downloaded DaVinci Resolve, which is a new industry standard, but my computer can't even run the 3 most recent versions of it. So I'm on DaVinci 16, I think 21 came out not too long ago. And I have this really bad editing habit that I'm trying to break, where I go linearly. And so I start with the start of the video and I work my way through, which means the start of it looks fucking great, but then after that, it's pretty rough. I've been working on that. I've got bits and pieces done here and there. So all the math and computations are done. I have all the numbers I need for every year of the BBFL. That's all done, cut, print. The script is set. I just need to piece it all together visually. I've pulled pretty much all the highlights I will need for the video. I'm piecing together some of the different portions. I've got it broken up into 6 parts right now. Looking at another set of notes. So that's the update. I am hoping to have it out by the start of the new fantasy football season this fall. Hopefully you guys can hold me to that. And I keep getting distracted because I have two ideas of other projects that I want to get off the ground. One's gonna be a lot less labor intensive. Another's gonna be along the lines of these videos. But as a treat, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of the video as is. It's missing the music. That's the last thing we're gonna have to go back and do. I have to find music that fits each spot. But that's coming up. I keep looking at myself on the phone instead of in the camera, so I'm not a very good vlogger. So enjoy the sneak peek. I'll see you guys again soon, and go Cers.
Hey, welcome back. Here's a trivia question for you. Which NFL player has 2 Super Bowl rings, 1 Super Bowl MVP, and has been named the NFL's most valuable player 5 times, the Offensive Player of the Year twice, the Comeback Player of the Year once, received the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award, was named to the AP First Team All-Pro 7 times, the Pro Bowl 14 times, led the league in passing yards 3 times and touchdowns 4 times, and still holds the NFL single-season record for touchdowns, passing yards, and yards per game? If you guessed Tom Brady, you'd be incorrect. That also means you're not welcome here. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. Go. And don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Now that we have the degenerates out of here, I'm sure the rest of you chose correctly. Peyton Manning. Over his 19-year career, the Sheriff garnered countless accolades, though there were definitely some ups and downs. Who could forget his rookie season, where Manning threw 26 touchdowns and 28 interceptions? Yikes. In 2003, Manning would lead the league in passing yards, completion percentage, and yards per game, and be named the most valuable player by the Associated Press. Despite these numbers, Manning and the Colts would fall to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game 24-14 after being shut out in the first half. Manning would throw for 237 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions that evening. Manning came into the 2004 season looking for revenge and just obliterated his competition. He led the league with 49 touchdown passes, breaking Dan Marino's single-season record that had stood since 1984. That year, Manning completed 336 passes, which means that every time he dropped back to pass, he had a 1 in 10 chance of throwing a touchdown. That's just ridiculous. Manning would lead the Colts to a 12-4 record, winning the division and be named league MVP for the second year in a row, win his first AP Offensive Player of the Year award, but would fall again to the Patriots in the playoffs with another subpar performance of 238 yards and an interception. By now, the narrative around Manning was starting to crystallize into being unstoppable in the regular season, but unable to pull it out when it mattered most. Jumping forward to 2006, Manning again led the league in touchdowns with 31 and another 12-4 record to win the division. It seemed like these playoffs were do or die for the Colts, and they came out swinging, punching the Chiefs in the teeth 23-8, then beating the Ravens 15-6 to advance to the AFC Championship. Against the Chiefs, Manning would throw for 268 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions, and would follow that up with 170 yards and 2 interceptions against the Ravens. Again, it looked like Manning and the Colts were destined to fail upward and get stomped by the Patriots, who they just so happened to meet in the conference championship game the next week. Now, I don't think I need to tell anyone here the story of the 2006 AFC Championship game, but for the uninitiated, the Colts were down 21-6 at the end of the first half that included a pick six by Manning midway through the second quarter. Now, I don't know what Tony Dungy did in the locker room during that halftime, or if he got a hold of some of Michael's secret stuff, but the Colts came out of the locker room a different team, with Manning leading the charge. They started with a quick drive capped by a 1-yard run by Manning, of all people, to start the rally. The Colts followed that up with maybe my all-time favorite play in Colts history, a late third-quarter touchdown pass to linebacker Dan Klecko. We love big man touchdowns in this house. 88 caught himself the 2-point conversion that knotted up at 21, and now we had a ball game. The rock fight commenced, including a Pats touchdown, followed by an offensive scoop and score by Colts center Jeff Saturday. Man, this game had everything. Followed by some punts and a late field goal to put New England back up by 3 with 2 minutes 27 seconds left in the game. Manning stepped up, and under the lights of the RCA Dome, rewrote history by leading his team with 58 passing yards in 26 seconds to set up Joseph Addai for the go-ahead touchdown. The win sealed poetically by a Brady interception to send the Colts to their first Super Bowl since 1970 and capping off the biggest conference championship game comeback in league history. From there, Manning would lead the Colts to a Super Bowl victory in Miami, defeating the Bears 29-17, and be named Super Bowl MVP. Finally, the narrative had been flipped. Now, this is just a small sample of what Peyton Manning's illustrious career of 18 seasons has to offer. And I haven't even touched on his comeback after surgery and his tenure in Denver. But nonetheless, I believe, with my entire heart and soul, that Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback of all time. And as stated previously, I will die on this hill.